Many of you know that, well, if you're not, I guess maybe if you're new to the channel, you don't know, but I had kind of an epic back and forth with the showrunner of The Witcher last year, and I thought it was actually very productive. In fact, we made connections. I can speak to her when I need to, and she kind of softened me on some of the criticism around The Witcher. I've always felt like it wasn't, you know, I wanted to see more monster hunting. I wanted to see more like Witcher being Witcher. The Witcher basically was focused on a lot of the strong independent women who don't need no man, which it's not as if they are not important parts of the story. They certainly are. I just didn't feel like The Witcher was witchery enough. And now, a week ago or so, it became public knowledge that many of the writers on that show actively disliked not only the Witcher book, but also the Witcher video game. I'm not exactly sure how that plays out. You know, maybe that explains a little bit about what happened next, because then Henry Cavill quit. Now, is it coincidental timing? Sure, it could just be that. It could also be that he was like, bruh, I'm making like nothing. I'm an A-list actor. I'm making almost nothing working on this, show on Netflix. And now these people don't even like the books. And like, this was a passion project for Henry Cavill. He loved the books. He loved the story. He loved the video game. And now there is some news around him coming back as Superman, but there's actually no contract for any new Superman film. He did a cameo at the end of Black Adam, I believe. Was it Black Adam? Yeah. But most people say, in terms of what's on the books, he's playing Superman in the Flash movie. Potentially. That's what that's some of the rumors. But as far as I know, there's no official Superman movie starring Henry Cavill on the books. So then this tweet by that Star Wars girl, Anna, Henry Cavill announced he's leaving The Witcher and Liam Hemsworth is replacing him. It's 100% so he can play Superman, plus playing The Witcher was a huge pay cut, and he had to work with people who don't care about the character or the source material. I don't blame him at all. We're going to get into that second part because I think that's true. He wrote some news to share from the continent. My journey as Geralt of Rivia has been filled with both monsters and adventures, and alas, I'll be laying down my medallion and my swords for season 4. In my stead, the fantastic Mr. Liam Hemsworth will be taking up the mantle of the White Wolf. As with the greatest of literary characters, I pass the torch with reverence for the time spent embodying Geralt and the enthusiasm to see Liam's take on the most fascinating and nuanced of men. Liam, good sir, this character has such a wonderful depth to him. Enjoy diving in and seeing what you can find. So he quits. I think, you see here, she writes, The Witcher was a great opportunity for him, and he did it out of love. It's a shame that people making the show didn't feel the same way. Now, you can look at these articles here. Netflix's The Witcher former producer claims some writers actively disliked the books and games. You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy. Bo DeMeo, a former producer and writer on Netflix Witcher, has claimed that some of the writers on Netflix's series actively disliked Andrzej Sapkowski's books and CD Projekt Red's games. Now, we also saw a story last week that I'll remind you of, is that CD Projekt Red has really leaned into the woke reimagining garbage. And that's a little more concerning too for Witcher fans. As reported by The Direct, DeMeo recently participated in a Q&A on his Instagram stories where he discussed his role as showrunner on the upcoming X-Men 97 Disney Plus series. Speaking about how he assembled a production team for the project, he revealed that those involved had to be a fan of the material because that hasn't always been his experience. Spicy. I've been on a show, namely Witcher, where some of the writers were not or actively disliked the books and games, even actively mocking the source material. DeMeo explained. It's a recipe for disaster and bad morale. Fandom, as a litmus test, checks egos and makes all the long nights worth it. You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy. What an amazing, what an amazing thing to hear from somebody taking over something you love, right? Like, this is exactly what you want to hear from somebody. Not like, what's his name? Oh, why can't I think of his name? The guy that cries all the time, Kevin Smith, lying openly about, being a fan of He-Man, pretending to be a fan of He-Man just so he can get paid. The fandom usually susses that stuff out and can figure it out pretty quickly. With The Witcher, there's kind of several aspects to, the fandom. You have the fans of the video game, you have fans of the book. Then you have the Henry Cavill fans who became fans of The Witcher and probably bought the books and played the video games. Showrunner Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich originally underscored the importance of the books and the original short stories when crafting The Witcher for Netflix. We've all been big fans of the books, she said. We're all big fans of the video games as well, but this is solely based on the books, and that's really where I drew inspiration from. What's interesting is, again, just like with Lord of the Rings, I enjoy Lord of the Rings a lot, the trilogy, right? But I am not a lore guru. So when there's little things here and there that are not correct in terms of the lore, I'm not going to notice, so it's not going to bug me. It will for some people. With The Witcher, same thing. The game, cool. The show, I gave up on it after the second season. It just was boring and not enough Witcher fighting monsters. But again, if there may have been things that were inaccurate with the lore, I don't know. I wasn't, that deeply into it. Now, the third season of the hit fantasy series will bring back Cavill's Geralt, so he's in the new season, Yennefer and Freya Ciri. The Witcher Season 3 is coming summer of 2023. Blood Origin is out this December. It's interesting to me. I'm pretty sure Cavill was done playing, working on TV shows. I don't know what his salary was there, but he's 40. He's only got so many years left to play Superman. I don't know why DC continues to... It's a weird thing with DC and Superman, isn't it? I mean, there's no reason there shouldn't be a freaking Superman movie every 3 years. Why does DC continue to ignore Superman? You wasted, Henry Cavill's prime. Now he's 40. I mean, he still obviously looks great and he can play Superman. But I mean, I would have liked to see him playing Superman in his mid-30s. I'd like to have, 5 or 6 Superman movies. It's like they kept waiting for some other hero to take off, and they can't even get Batman right most of the time. I mean, how do you script Superman? Everybody loves Superman. Everyone loved Henry Cavill as Superman. If there were people that didn't like Henry Cavill as Superman, I didn't hear from him. He looked the part. Fans love him. He passes the smell test with fandoms, which isn't always easy, especially in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where you get all these Hollywood weirdos being like, "Oh yeah, I've always been a fan of this obscure DC Comics character." So I mean, again, also no shade at Liam Hemsworth. He writes, "As a Witcher fan, I'm over the moon about the opportunity to play Geralt of Rivia. Henry Cavill has been an incredible Geralt, and I'm honored that he's handing me the reins and allowing me to take up the White Wolf's blades for the next chapter of his adventure. Henry, I've been a fan of yours for years and was inspired by what you brought to this beloved character. I may have some big boots to fill, but I'm excited." I mean, cool, good for him. And I think Liam Hemsworth could probably pull it off. I think it's more about the show itself that I'm more worried about. I mean, Geralt was awesome as a Witcher. I don't know how they're going to address that he just looks totally different now. If they're just going to go on and let it be. But when you start hearing these stories about, working with writers that actively didn't like the book, actively didn't like the games, knowing Henry Cavill, he probably just said it ain't worth it anymore. I'm actually surprised that they're going to continue The Witcher without him. It's probably going to depend on the overall ratings from season 3, to be honest with you. And I'm still going to give season 3 a chance because I made a personal promise to Lauren Histrich that I would. And we'll see how it goes. But, you know, the show's got to get a lot better for me to really be that invested in it. I love what Henry Cavill brings to projects with his passion and his appreciation of fandom. But I think it's at least a non-zero chance that he got sick of working with people that don't like The Witcher, and he probably wasn't loving some of the things they wrote. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it and hit that subscribe button down below so you can get notified. I upload videos 6 days a week, and I'd absolutely love to have you as a subscriber.